Welcome to CHEM 2303, Experiment 2, the determination of copper by colorimetric and liquid-liquid extraction. This experiment involves doing a liquid-liquid extraction with chloroform. Chloroform is known to be a carcinogenic agent. As such, you must wear the appropriate safety equipment when doing your extraction. This involves your lab coat, safety glasses, nitrile gloves, and secondary poly gloves. You'll see me put these on when we get to the stage when dealing with chloroform. Also, because chloroform is a teratogenic compound such that it can cross the placental barrier. If you happen to be pregnant, please inform your TA or lab coordinator before coming to do this experiment so that appropriate arrangements can be made to ensure your safety and your future baby's safety. So I have laid out here the reagents, standards, and unknown solutions that will be required for the experiment, and I have the separatory funnels set out on the bench. The separatory funnels can be out on the bench as long as you're not adding the ammonium hydroxide. Once you're ready to add the ammonium hydroxide, the separatory funnels should be put back in the fume hood. So, this is going to take a while, so dearest editor, let's go to a speed montage of getting the separatory funnels ready to go. All right, so I have all the separatory funnels put into the fume hood at this point in time, ready to add the ammonium hydroxide to each one. Something I want to point out to you at this point in time is for filming purposes, the sash of the fume hood has been set up out of the way to not interfere with filming. But when you do this experiment, you will be required to have the sash at working height, which is listed on the side of the fume hood. So make sure you always have the sash at this height. But for this purpose, for the purposes of this experiment, we have set this up so that you guys can see clearly on the cameras. Also, I'm leaving the light in the fume hood on because it helps with you guys seeing what's going on, but you guys are generating, or will be generating in this experiment, a photosensitive complex, so you shouldn't necessarily do this with the light on in the fume hood. But as I said, we're going to leave it on for this experiment so that you can see what's actually being done. All right, so now I've got my ammonium hydroxide here, and I'm going to add 2 mils of that to each one. So I've got my tool here. I just need a beaker that I can use. All right. All right, that's the ammonium hydroxide done. All right, so I've got the flasks loaded with the ammonium hydroxide. I have prepared everything that I will need in order to do each extraction one at a time. I'm going to start with the blank, work through the standards, and then go to the unknowns. When you're doing this, as I said, with chloroform, when you're handling the chloroform, you'll want to wear these poly gloves over your nitrile gloves, so it's a double glove situation. I'm just going to have one glove on this hand because I won't be able to pipette well with the other glove, but I'll put it on before I do the thing. And for each one that you do, you're going to want to do this to a timer because you want to treat each sample as similarly as possible. So, also, for the 1 milliliter of the sodium carbonate solution that you're adding, a pass-through pipette will deliver that 1 mil well enough because this solution is in excess and is a somewhat of a saturated solution. So, we can add the 1 mil of the solution into the blank, and then we'll pour out some chloroform here. And we're going to pipette, and make sure when you're using chloroform, you're always using glass. Do not use plastic with chloroform, because chloroform can attack the plastics. All right, so I get my 10 mils. So I add my 10 mils. I'm going to start my stopwatch at this point in time. All right, 10 mils of chloroform added. Cap it. Shake it, vent. 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 Oop. So I'm going to shake this until my timer reads 1 minute. Okay, I'm at a minute. I'll vent it. I'm going to close it, turn it over, take the stopper off. And I'm going to let the layers separate until I get the separation of my layers. And then I'm going to use one of these test tubes and I'm going to just draw off the chloroform layer. And then the main thing is just to fill it to just about where the thing is, that square box is. Zero the detector to air, do not zero it to the blank. And we will put the blank in with the marks facing us. And we'll take the reading of the blank. So this blank read 0.074. And then I can take it out and set it aside. That's how you do one sampling. Now what we'll do is we'll do another montage of finishing all of these. All right, so the extraction is now complete. All that's left to do to finish up this experiment is to clean up. When you clean up, make sure that organic waste, that's the chloroform layer and all the separatory funnels and any excess chloroform in a beaker, go into organic waste. Water does not go into organic waste. If there's water in the organic waste after your experiment, you will lose technique marks. Thank you very much for joining us today in the lab for Chem 2303 Experiment 2. Have a good day.